Welcome to the footy show on Page. Look at that, straight in. Straight in. Another week of football, and we're here to discuss it. I don't know how to link that, because
there's always football.
There's always football. Every day of every...
Every day of every year of every...
Everything.
Till it all ends.
Premier League at the weekend, before we get into some other stories. Manchester United, late winner at Bournemouth. Rashford. I loved in the commentary, it was like, oh, brilliant by Rashford. He took it on his chest, waited for it to come down and coolly slotted. He did take it on his chest. The defender kicked it against him and then he just passed it in. But Bournemouth are very competitive, aren't they?
Very competitive.
They could have won the game, actually. The young lad that you like, Brooks, had a chance to win it near the end. And
cheeky little backflip.
Yeah. But Pogba come up big. Rashford through the middle. There's talk of him keeping Lukaku out the side. The Manchester derby, isn't it, at the weekend, and talk that United are going to try and play him through the middle instead of Rom. Where do you think his best position is? Wide, or do you like him as a...
Everton. That's his best position.
Yeah.
At Everton.
Him and Richarlison could just like float between left and up front, and then we'd have Bernard and Walcott battling it out for the other side.
Yeah, I think Rashford would be a lot more down the road by now if they hadn't bought Lukaku.
Yeah, I do. I think he should have just
stunted his growth.
Yeah,
I think if it know what it'd been in any other, maybe non-top 16, maybe he'd be Man United would be trying to buy him. Put it that way.
I just think if they'd have invested in him in terms of just going, you know what, you're our centre forward, he'd have been flying, because he could score as many as Rom easily. Quick, he's skillful, fast.
Wants to be there.
Wants to score. Isn't thinking about the next move, or maybe he is not. Big win for United though, because obviously it's just creeping up. Followed up the victory over us, so you know they've got themselves in there, haven't they? 20 points in 7th, 4 points off the top 4. Back-to-back wins.
They're
still dead early.
They're not good.
No, they're not, are they? They're missing something. Bournemouth, of course, still in that top 10 as well, doing well. Doing well, 6th even now. Leicester won at Cardiff. What do you have any sympathy for Lee Probert for booking Damari Gray? Because people were sending death threats and stuff.
Did what his job requires.
You could see his face. He was like,
"You've left me no choice.
I've got a book here. I don't really want to." Man,
it's a stupid
crap rule, isn't it? And especially in a day like that. But then,
it's just a stupid rule.
It is. I mean,
it's just like it was brought in for like to stop players putting out political messages on shirts. But come on, have a word with yourselves.
It doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't.
It
Taking
really
the shirt off just doesn't matter. It doesn't. Who does it hurt? Who does it affect? You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, right? If you've got something on a shirt and it's, I don't know, it's terrible, or it backs somebody that maybe you shouldn't back or whatever, then the FA afterwards just retrospectively just go, listen, we're going to give you the retrospective yellow card.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
See, it's not the ref's fault. It can't be the ref's fault, because
he's got to do it.
It's his job to take.
I don't defend referees at all, but in this occasion, there was nothing he could do. I know why people are going, "Come on, what's happened to them?" and all that, but
that's just triggered something in my mind about some of the new rules they're looking at, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay. But a big win for Leicester. I think it was a game he wanted to win, and obviously they've flown off to Thailand for the funeral straight after it. Cardiff.
Shite.
A week after you saying you'll get out of it.
No, I didn't say to get out of it. I still think that
I still think they got goals in them.
No, but have you seen the league?
Yeah, there's a few teams, obviously. What do you make of Brighton in our game? Because
what's that?
Not the game, not Everton's game.
What do you think of Brighton?
Yeah, because the reason why I'm saying it, the reason why I'm
to all people,
the reason why I'm asking you,
the gay capital of the country,
is because there was a call on 606 from a Brighton fan who basically said that he had to sack Chris Hughton because he's taken them as far as he can, and the league's wide open for them. Now listen, the league's wide open for them this year.
It's wide open for
them to have a real good go.
At what?
At the top 10 first. This is what he said first, right? Brighton were 11th before our game on Saturday, they're now 12th, right? And then he reiterated, he said, anyone can, the league, we could really go for the league this year.
I hate the fans of these teams, I really do. Do you know what annoys me, right? Do you know what annoys me, right? Is that...
Be careful on this, because people will have levelled this last year.
But they shouldn't. Because we are actually a big club who have been round for a very long time and can justify our...
Want more.
Yeah. But it really annoys me, this. It really annoys me. And I probably say it every year. When these teams come up, and we've obviously had it from Wolves this year, and it didn't annoy me as much with Wolves because I knew the project and I knew how they'd done it. But it's this thing of, we were great in the Championship, and, you know, first season, if we can just stay up, and then the second season, we're going to, you know, push for the European places, and you're just like, mate, shut up. Shut up. But when we ask for more, it's like, how dare you, stay in your lane and all that. But when all these little clubs, I've got no problem with anyone trying to better yourself. That's how football should be. That's great. That's brilliant. I've hopes, I've dreams, I've aspirations, I've all that. But I've realism. And when I say that, look at what you've got and go, well, you know what? We're doing all right. We've got a manager who understands where we're going. We've got players who understand the system and are all pulling together. We're just not good enough. We're just not that good. Look at the players. I don't know any of the Brighton players. I just looked at them and went, I don't know you. I know Shane Duffy because he used to play for us and I was up all night for him. Dunk because he's got a name like Dunk. Glenn Murray because he's the Jag Tosin. There's a couple of their players I know, but apart from them, I don't know any of them, which simply means that they're probably just average footballers, and that's no disrespect to them. They're just average footballers, and we were head and shoulders above them, and the manager afterwards said we were head and shoulders above them. And again, that's no disrespect. We spent a hell of a lot of money to be above them, right? They've hardly spent any money. They are doing things the right way, and they're in the second season of being in the Premier League.
And the point.
And this is what the problem is with all these clubs that come up. They just want to jump from there to there, and it just and they all and I think they all must just look at Leicester and go, we can all do that. And it's just like, you can't. You just can't. You've got to understand the role you play. And you know what? Bournemouth is, what's this, their fourth season?
Fourth season, isn't it?
Doing well. They're doing well. But they might level out and end up finishing, 10th. And they'll go, that was a great season for us. That was a great season for us.
They don't get above themselves, Bournemouth. They play good football.
But I've said this to you yesterday when we were in. If you play without pressure, if you play without fear, if you play without, the expectation, you'll do better. If you start putting unrealistic expectations on your club, then it's only going to end in one way, and that's failure. It's as simple as that. We don't sit here and go, we're going to finish Champions League, and if we don't, it's all going to be fucking end of the world. We go, let's try and get that 7th place and then build from there. Maybe it'll bring Europe with it. That should be, that's not an unrealistic expectation for us.
Not at all.
But no one's sitting here going, we're going to get 6th, and if we don't get 6th, then that's only one place above. And yet we're not doing that. We're just going, let's get 7th and let's see what we can do. And it's these fans that you're just like, you're mad. You're mad.
To be fair, there's probably thousands of Brighton fans who are just like, shut up.
Of course there are. One
because
person.
He's a good manager, Hughton, and he's done a good job with their wage bills low and everything. And you just think, I totally agree with it. You just get up and it's like, let's sack them, and you're like, well, hang on, you loved that manager last year when you were ripped. It's like Fulham now, right? Fulham were fantastic in the Championship, great to watch, loads of goals, come up, everyone had, like you said before, Fulham and Wolves are going to be challenging top 6, and you're like, they're really not. And now, because they're not, their fans are like, you can't have it, he's got to go now,
Yeah.
you know, we need to replace him. Who are you going to replace him with? Sam Allardyce. And then you'll just want to
he'll just
exactly,
he'll just change everything that you love about what's happening.
Is, yeah.
And also, you're Fulham, right? You're Fulham. You've had years of being Championship and up and down and all that. So give it time. If you go down, it ain't the end of the world, because you're Fulham.
Yeah, but if you go down, you do what Burnley did. Burnley came up, got relegated, took that money, invested, built a new training ground, built the club up, come back up, had a great season last season. Okay, they're struggling a bit this season, but you know, Dyche will probably get them out of trouble. They'll end up staying up. Bournemouth have come up, and Bournemouth were happy to finish 17th that first season. They were happy, and it was like, we'll get a little bit stronger now, and a little bit stronger. And Bournemouth have just left it, and everyone buys into it, and that's why they're getting better.
But that's what I was saying about Cardiff, though. Cardiff, I don't think their fans have got any expectations. They're just
got hope that
they're just going to try and and stay up. And Warnock is going.
I think this is a thing with what's happened with Newcastle. This is what's held Newcastle back, I think. I know Mike Ashley hasn't been great for them, right? But this is, if Newcastle would have gone a couple of years ago, right? Like, we're going to get like an Eddie Howe type manager, and we're going to basically have a real 4 or 5 year plan, a real proper plan, not just saying it for lip service. We're going to have a 4 or 5 year plan, and that plan might be up and we might get relegated, but then we go back up, and when we spend, and what we want to do is finish 16th and then 14th and then 12th, and then we try and get in that top 10 and see if we can predict. They don't. They come up and go, we're going for Europe.
To be fair to Newcastle, I'm not sure whether they do think like that anymore as a club.
The media do.
Well, the media do, but the media don't mean anything. I think the biggest problem with Newcastle, who obviously won this weekend, their first win, is that they just don't have a plan whatsoever.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You've got a manager.
That just comes from the owner, though, because the owner's such a dick.
They've got a manager in place who...
No, I know, but to be fair to him, and to be fair to most people at that club, and I'm not like, I don't like Newcastle, but there isn't really a plan, because the owner just doesn't care. He just doesn't care, Baz, let's be honest.
I know, but why you think, right, for me, like a normal person... care. No, but a normal person then...
He ain't a normal person. Have you seen the jeans he wears?
Yeah.
He's not a normal person. He doesn't care. And that's what I'm saying. I've actually started feeling sorry for Newcastle, because they don't have a...
You've got someone in charge who doesn't give a toss, and you've got...
But he's doing the classic Benitez trick of making it so that it's never his fault. So no matter what happens to Newcastle while he's there, it will never be Benitez's fault, ever. And he did that when he was at Liverpool. And you had people who were going, what are you on about? You're negative. We've got all these players. And you know... But he was really clever the way he manipulated that way.
Yeah,
he got himself the sack at Liverpool, so he could basically say, stay the fucking Messiah.
Yeah.
But loads hated him. I know loads of Liverpool fans who hated him towards the end. And Benitez is doing the same thing there.
Well, he scraped a 1-0 win at the weekend. Perez scored the first win of the season. Watford dominated 58% of the ball, 16 shots. Watford's problem, 1 on target. Newcastle had 10 with 2 on target. You know, it wasn't a very good game by all accounts. Watford outpassed them by 200 passes and everything. So they've dug in and got a win. They give themselves a little chink of light, but I just think there's no goals in that team.
No, but to be fair though,
but it was a good win.
There is some poor teams in the Premier League.
Well, there is, but if you haven't, it doesn't matter if you haven't got goals in yet.
No, but I don't think Huddersfield have got goals. I don't think
like the way
Cardiff have got goals.
So the bottom,
Fulham can't defend.
Palace, like it's Fulham are bottom on 5, right, and Palace are 14th on 8,
right.
So there's a win between them, yeah. Palace have got goals in them. Got Zaha, Benteke back soon, and he'll score goals. Palace aren't in any danger, I don't think. Burnley will score. Burnley will struggle, I think, but they've still got Vokes, and they've got people like that, Chris Wood. They've got Aaron Lennon. They'll get people who can create them things. Southampton have got Danny Ings.
I don't think they've
I don't think they're a good side, right?
They've got that many goals in
Southampton, Newcastle, Huddersfield, and Cardiff, right? There's a 4 from them, because I think Fulham have the potential
if they could tighten
to win games.
If they could tighten up.
Session, they got.
But they're not scoring goals though. They're not scoring goals though.
They've only scored 8 goals in 11 games. Really are. Southampton have got 6 in 11 games. Newcastle have got 7 in 11 games. Cardiff and Fulham have got 8 in 11 games. Southampton have scored.
What have Huddersfield got?
About 2 or something. It's just gone off.
A bar 2 or something.
Hang on, it's gone off. Just give me a sec. No, but that's the thing. You're right with all of those. Is that at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who can score goals. But Fulham, I think, if Fulham actually tighten up slightly, they are better than those other. Despite being bottom, to me, they're still better than.
I'm not making any assessments till after Christmas.
Oh yeah, listen, but it's just for the purpose of conversation, isn't it? But you know, Huddersfield have scored 5 goals. 5 goals. Southampton 7. Newcastle 7. Cardiff 9. Fulham have got 11. Burnley have got 12. Crystal Palace 8. So Southampton, Huddersfield the bottom.
Cardiff got more goals than Palace.
By 1. Fulham have got more than Burnley have got the most, 12.
Set piece goals though, didn't score like set pieces.
So I mean, it's obviously really fascinating just because there is those teams near the bottom that are struggle and are gonna struggle. You can tell they're gonna struggle, and there's about 6 of them because there's already a little bit of a gap here. West Ham 4, Burnley 2. West Ham, good win for them.
Move on. I don't care.
That's Burnley though. Back to 2-2 and.
Oh, can we talk about Joe Hart? Oh my God. Did you see the goals? Oh my God.
One of them was a deflection, a big deflection.
Did you see the one that went through his legs though? And
he
run out and it's just like, what are you doing? Garbage. Get rid of him.
Yeah. Get rid of him. They need Pope and Thingy back, don't they?
Hope and Pope.
And Pope. Maybe you just need the Pope. Chris Wood at the bar at 3-2.
Oh yeah.
Unlucky. Should have scored actually. Should have scored. Arsenal 1, Liverpool 1. A ding-dong battle.
Bad goal.
Mane's goal. You know what? I watched this.
Yeah.
I watched it this morning, the highlights, just to see some goals. And I know you thought the goal should have stood.
Yeah, it should have stood.
I can understand why it didn't.
Yeah, because they didn't use VAR.
I can fully understand why it didn't. Because as the ball got played over, he's offside. He's clearly offside. He's not even close. Yeah, he's not even close to being onside. And then he moves towards the ball.
Okay.
But Firmino is it who gets there first. So Firmino's obviously onside because he's run from deep. So it's the bar and comes down, hits him and goes in, doesn't it? Or it just lets it hit him. So it's that phase 1, phase 2 nonsense. But I think because he motions towards the ball, I think the linesman should have put the flag up.
Okay. I'm not arguing for Liverpool goal. I'm just
I just thought
just sitting here.
Yeah, 1-1. Big game. Arsenal played well. The goal.
Leno.
Even Alisson. Hang on. Oh, Leno for the goal for Milner's goal.
He was terrible all game.
What
the one where he flapped for and Van Dijk put it wide?
Van Dijk put it wide, yeah. What about the stat when Milner scored? He's never lost the Premier League. Or never lost a game. That's
not a bad stat.
Even Alisson was flapping and stuff. The pair of them didn't have great days, did they? But Arsenal's win and run come to an end. They'd won 13 on the run.
Came to a run end last week.
Oh yeah, didn't win 2 without, I think. Yeah, no, why? Because I was seeing they were building up to this game, going Liverpool stopped there winning.
No,
that's what it was.
They stopped last week.
Yeah, stopped. Yeah, it's all a Palace, yeah, a Palace. But yeah, keeps them in there, gives advantage to Man City. Spurs 3-2 at Wolves.
Yeah.
Raced into a 3-0 lead and then ended up 2 penalties. What was there was a young German lad, was it?
Yeah.
Why was he trying to nutmeg someone?
They didn't. It wasn't him trying to nutmeg. It was.
I think he tried to nutmeg.
Trippier tried to nutmeg.
Put
in the corner.
Yeah,
and he tried to nutmeg him in the corner. and you just like put your foot through it,
put your foot
bounced off the lad's leg, went into the box, and he brought him down. It was just like, do you know when you just think the
goal that could have totally been avoided?
Footballers are just the stupidest people on earth when they get onto a football.
All he had to do was leather that down the line, because the pace had gone out the game, hadn't it? They scored a good, never scored a good pen, and then the second one, once they went past them, the lads having that debut to forget only 2 penalties, and a good pen by Jimenez, but the ungone Spurs, and all of a sudden people were slagging them the other week, going, they won't even finish top 6. All of a sudden they are right back in the 4th, and the 1 win off Chelsea-Liverpool, 3 points behind Chelsea-Liverpool. So they've won 6. That's the 6th away win of the season. Brilliant. Won every away game. At home they've lost. They've not had a great thing here at home, have they? But incredible. So they're well still in it no matter what. Then City came out Sunday and spanked Southampton 6-1. Try and keep it tight for the first 15. He was a goal down after. They were 3 down at 18 minutes past 3. They're just very good, City, aren't they?
Yeah, we'll talk more about that in a minute.
But goal 20 plus 29.
Yeah, well, at 2 points, and with that's an extra point, isn't it?
Yeah. Chelsea 3, Palace 1. Good win for Chelsea.
Yeah, solid.
Morata with a brace.
Should have got active though, shouldn't he?
He should have.
Trying to chip the goalie.
He should have. I thought he was brilliant at Juve. He's on loan from Real Madrid. He's come here, and I don't know whether it's him not settling.
It's a mental thing.
Or
confidence, I think. Did
he really want to be here? That's the thing, isn't it? And then obviously Monday was the final Premier League game. Huddersfield beat Fulham 1-0 with an own goal. Probably the only way it was going to be won.
Awful.
That game.
Awful game.
It was, I believe, it was shocking. From both of them. And Fulham dominated, but Huddersfield had more shots. 10 shots to 7. So interesting at the bottom. So that was the Premier League. Out of that, off the back of that, a couple of big stories have broken. Der Spiegel have making a name for all of a sudden. We're all Der Spiegeled up. They've TMZ'd themselves, haven't they?
Fully Spiegeled. They're not the ones who done the Ronaldo stories, well, are they?
Probably. Yeah, actually they will. They've all of a sudden, Der Spiegel of
Germans are getting fully
position themselves.
Who do these Germans think they are? Bringing back real journalism?
Yeah.
How dare they? I want to know about the people on Strictly and what they've been up to this week.
I want to know if Thomas Muller has been on a beach with his beard and whether she wore a new sarong or some shit like our media cover. So this story broke, so we'll go with the first one, which is teams have been plotting this Super League behind everyone.
You don't say.
Yeah, which we've been saying for years, which was going around when Angie were involved on it.
Angie from EastEnders?
Yeah, she was
Anyone can fall in love.
Her and Brian May. With
the same hair.
They have got the same, they look the same.
I imagine they've got large poodles
with
the same hair.
Exactly the same. Just full on hair fest. When you go in there, just hairs everywhere.
You walk in and go, have you got a dog? Like, no.
You could literally, like someone like Grant Mitchell could go in there and come out with a full...
Go in with like a load of glue on their head and just
come out like that.
Oh!
Literally come out just full hair, like Homer when he found the brigade thing.
Carl. Hello, Homer.
Yeah, just right there. So yeah, back to Der Spiegel. We digress. The Super League thing. And it's been bouncing around for a few. We know it has because...
But this is the first...
clubs.
This is the first plot, isn't it?
Yeah.
The real plot.
It was always going... When you've got teams like PSG, it was just too big and powerful in their league, and it was, Angie Michael had loads of money a few years ago, didn't he, and Ruben Kazan, and it was like they've got loads of money and the league doesn't suit them and stuff. You start looking and going, we'll look at like Spain, and look at England, and it's always going to be the case, because at the end of the day, greed will always take over.
Well, we've seen it already in the Premier League. With some, well, obviously we see it in Spain with the way their money works, Barcelona and Real Madrid. We've seen it in the Premier League now. It's just keep its head into it with the top 6 or whatever it is, wanting more money for them. They're going to get more money, and that's for me. That's
disgusting.
That shouldn't have happened, and they've opened the door to them, and they'll abuse that, and they want the full whack. These teams, who are now owned by the likes of, of John Henry, American capitalists, who all it's about is money and nothing else.
Yeah.
Of course the sport's there, but they want to win it. They want to take advantage of what they see as their right, because they have the most.
You've got the Glazers.
They look at it and go, well, we have the most eyes on us, whether it be in the stadium or on TV, so we want more revenue, and that's simply just that is not fair.
Well, it flies in the face of competition, doesn't it? Because all you're doing is you're giving those powerful teams more power, and you're taking any kind of leverage away from the other teams in the league.
I mean, this Super League idea, saying like 5 or 6 from the Premier League, and the same aren't they saying 14 teams initially, and they'll buy in for 20 years, no relegation and all that. But I mean, it seems like an extension of this, of the intercontinental trophy that they have in the summer. It seems to be coming from the same place. All the heads have got together around the table and said, well, we could do this all the time. And it's not for people who go the match, it's for people who watch it home. We can have Liverpool versus so-and-so because you'll get the money, and because there's fans all over the world who want to watch it. And for me, it just, all it is a way of, and I know we'll talk about this in our the other story, but it's just a way to get out of your power, isn't it? Having no one controlling you, having no financial fair play, having the ability to just do what you want. But how is that sustainable? How's that? If all the money keeps rising to the top, then how does that work for everyone else? How do you maintain a football pyramid? How do you buy into it? If you want, if you have a Super League, let's just say, right? Who controls it? Do they control themselves? So does that mean that they'll be outside the jurisdiction of FIFA and UEFA and all the other confederations? Because if that's the case, then if you sign a player, that player surely must relinquish all his rights to play for his international team straight away. So we get into a situation like we did in the 70s when Kerry Packer, I don't remember it, but it's a thing. So Kerry Packer, the Australian, he was Murdoch's rival, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So he said, cricket's not fair, I'm setting up this league. And he basically bought all the best players, but because he went outside of the governing bodies, all those players weren't allowed to play for their international teams. Caused a big stink, ended up going tits up. But what it did do is sort of, everyone went, okay, how can we keep that framework but inside? And we've seen different ways of doing it, obviously in cricket, the Indian Premier League and all that, and we've seen it in football. So if we've got a player, Everton, we're playing in the Premier League, and someone from that thing approaches us and that plays an international, does he have to go, oh yeah, I'd like to sign for you? And they go, yeah, but you're not allowed to play for Brazil ever again. Oh, okay. And then, so, it's going to have all them ramifications, isn't it? And that's where I think it'll fall down.
Unless they just do a Brexit deal.
But they can't, because but they can't though, can they? Because if FIFA have got no control over it, then how can they? If it's outside the remit of FIFA, then how can they let anyone inside it come back?
But then it's the same with the Premier League, with the FA. Because the FA have got no control over the Premier League, really.
But they have.
They work in conjunction, but they haven't.
But
really.
They work in conjunction,
and that's what this league will do.
No, it won't be. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be.
Okay.
It wouldn't be, would it? Because the Premier League is not outside of UEFA. It's not outside of.
But this league could work hand in hand.
It won't though. Why would FIFA or UEFA allow that? UEFA's cash cow is the Champions League. This would circumvent the Champions League. So therefore, why would UEFA?
They might say all of those teams go in the Champions League.
They wouldn't. Because that would They wouldn't. Because.
But they're all the money.
It would yeah. That's so. Why would you devalue your competition? Right? Why would you if you've got a competition, right, and you say we've got all the shiny things here, right? If you want to buy in Sky, if you want to buy in whoever TV channel, you're going to have to pay big, because this is the only place you're getting to see Liverpool, Man United, PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus. This is the only place. As soon as you allow the Champions League to have them as well, you've just devalued your product in half. It's not going to work like that. It's just never going to work. They want everything.
Well, they won't care then, because they'll just go, right, we'll have our league, and we'll just independently do it.
So, but then how do you attract the player? That's what I'm saying. So that's the conflict. But football still means a lot to football. Some
it will, and some it won't.
I just don't think it can get off the ground with all the top.
Why would FIFA not want to be part of it?
Because it would circumvent their rules.
We're under the jurisdiction of UEFA,
but we're still under the jurisdiction of FIFA.
Yeah,
as well.
But FIFA wouldn't, because
FIFA wouldn't buy into this.
FIFA wouldn't.
They wouldn't, because there's only 20 teams in it.
Of course, FIFA would.
They wouldn't. Because not a chance.
Right.
Not a
so
chance.
You're saying Neymar, and say it was set up next year, right?
They wouldn't.
No, listen to me. It was set up next year. So there's Neymar, and there's Ronaldo, and there's Messi, and there's players Salah, and all can't play in the World Cup.
No.
So the World Cup's devalued.
Because because there has to be a cut-off point. Because if it goes out,
I just think it.
But it wouldn't though, because you've got to have rules. You've got to have rules.
They'll have their own rules.
Exactly, which nobody else will play by. So how can you have? Football is, at its very heart, it is a pyramid system. Okay, the pyramid has been.
Okay, what's MLS?
What do you mean?
In terms of, they're just part of FIFA, aren't they?
And CONCACAF.
And CONCACAF.
Yeah, or whatever the one is.
Right,
yeah.
But they still have different rules than...
Well, they do, yeah.
Than other leagues.
But they still play by everyone else's rules. But they do. They have their own rules. We have our own rules, but you still play by the overall rules. And they wouldn't though.
At the end of the day, right, these people will have... For it to get as far as it allegedly has, these people will have done that homework, that case.
Well, you think that. You think that. But Spanish football thinks it's playing in America, and FIFA have told them they're not. So, what someone thinks they can do and what they can actually do are two different things.
I think it'll happen personally, and I think it'll happen. It's 2022 is when it's going to happen, because that's when the next...
I don't think it'll happen. Not like this. Not a chance.
That's when the next deal. They're all tied in till 2022, aren't they? And then once that deal finishes, the next deal is up for grabs then for them.
Yeah, but okay, so if you're a Liverpool fan, right, and they come to you and say, do you want to be in this league? Do you think Liverpool fans will go for this?
Yeah.
I don't.
They're obsessed with the Champions League, obsessed with it.
But this is not the Champions League.
Yeah, but it's the equivalent.
It's so
then they're like made up to play sterile games of football.
I understand that.
It's against someone big.
That also, I just don't see.
I open play.
I just don't. But I don't. Not now, because I think this is a major problem for Everton.
I don't.
It is. Of course it is. If Everton, if this thing happened tomorrow where they go, we're in by 2022, we ain't getting a stadium.
Of course we are.
We're not. Because all our money is reliant on the Premier League, and the Premier League's value for its TV deal would just hit the fucking floor.
Because that's going to happen anyway.
But not like this. If you take out all the assets to a deal, number one, Sky, you've seen it already. Sky and BT are just cutting everything. They're cutting everything. They're getting rid of everything that, we from the chat, they're getting rid of everything.
Well, all Everton would do, and all the Premier League would do, is you just break by game.
Yeah, but Everton, you
can repackage. It's why Netflix has become unpopular and things like that. Those that mop it up, the money's there.
It's not.
The money.
It's not. It's not. There's not enough money in the world to have both things, because the money now only wants to go to one place. It wants to be where all the stars are, and so all the stars will go. And They might have FIFA's blessing and all that kind of thing. They might do. That could happen because FIFA are just that kind of corrupt. But if they go, the Premier League will... I'm not saying it'll be fucked, but the money will drop out of it.
The money will drop down.
Which means, for us, stadium would go. Because we wouldn't be able to fund it. It's as simple as that.
They'll already be underway by that moment.
Yeah, but...
2022.
But a bank would want to... Yeah, but these things don't just happen overnight. It would have to be announced at least 4 or 5 years ahead of time. That's why I don't think it'll happen in 2022, because it would have to be announced at like 4 years ahead of time, like you would with the World Cup. I know what you're saying. If they went, it'd be like, so what? But I do worry that...
I think us and Spurs will be boss.
Yeah, but I do worry that there's only enough money in the world.
Looking at it from a brand thing, obviously, those clubs, but the real... I wouldn't, if Everton were part of this, I wouldn't want Everton to go into this.
And that's why I don't think Liverpool fans
are. Oh, a lot of them mightn't, but I think a lot of them do, because they want to go, we're in this, usually.
But they'll finish 15th.
Of course they will. Everyone's spanked, but that's the way it is. But then there's a lot of factors have to come in with what kind of players they're going to get as well, and things like that. Like you just said, if it's... I don't know. I just think...
My worry is the stadium, because I just don't think there'd be enough. If you go to someone,
but that's the worry anyway, though.
Yeah, but at the moment, they can make. These are clever people. They can make. They'll know the degrees of shift, and Everton will know that it can be offset by ticket prices. So, let's say the TV deal is going to start going down. Of course, it is. It's going to start going down. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to go down, because.
Might just stay the same.
What they'll start doing is they'll start looking at different packages and saying, well, the 3 o'clock... For me, I think the 3 o'clock game will be bounced soon, and you'll be able to show it on TV. And that'll start opening the door. And I think eventually, I think we've said this before, every game will be at a different time, so every time the slot can be sold. Because as Amazon and Netflix and YouTube and all these people come into the market, there's going to be loads of different ways of watching it. So there's going to be different revenue streams. So... I think the money will probably stay around the same, but if it offsets, it's not going to offset by like 10% or 15%. It'll be 3%, 4%. So Everton will have to put 3%, 4% on the ticket prices, and that's how they'll offset it. You go to a financial...
the wages.
Yeah, or whatever. So if you go to a financial, you go to a financial institution and you say, right, we want a deal, and they go, well, how much? And you've obviously got to present them the deal. That's at the moment. That can all be rationalised. But as soon as you put a Super League in there, the factors just shift massively.
I just don't see how it can happen, because they're just, to me,
I just don't see how it can happen.
Just greedy.
They are greedy, but
horrible.
I don't think it can happen as it is now. It would take one big thing to stop it: fan power. Fan power would be the big thing. But forget about all that. For us personally as Evertonians, we'd have to factor in for the stadium TV money, and I think the TV money would drop by, I reckon 25%.
Maybe, yeah.
And the sponsors would all the premium sponsors would all drop by a man, because money follows money. It's why Manchester City, Manchester United, Tottenham, Arsenal, they've all got massive kit deals, massive sponsorship deals, and that we're like signing smaller deals, because money goes to money. When you're a big brand, other brands want to be attached to it, because you're out there.
It's tough, but I just can't see it staying the way it is.
But that's fine.
I just think they're greedy.
We ain't getting a new stadium then if it happens in this time slot.
We are, because we've got money.
We'd have to already have it built. We would. I just don't.
What would stop it?
Money.
What money?
Why?
What?
Who would give us the money?
Well, we'd have the money.
But who would
get the money now?
Who's giving us the money?
Usmanov.
I know, but Usmanov wants a return on his money.
Of course you'll get return, but you get return from bums on seats and TV. The TV deal might be a bit lower.
I think the TV deal would just go to on its arse.
Well, you don't know, do you?
I just don't imagine.
I'm just telling you, I'm playing devil's advocate, saying they've said 2022 because the next Premier League deal finishes by then.
It ain't going to be 2022.
Well, that's alright then, isn't it?
When you say next Premier League deal, what do you mean? TV
deal finishes then, and they're all contracted. They can't. When they signed the last deal, they couldn't leave the Premier League.
I don't think it. I think that doesn't matter because
according to the
at the end of the day, right, for these teams to leave, they're gonna have to leave lock, stock, and barrel. They're just pulling up and they're walking away.
Yeah, they can't play in both.
They can't play in both, and I don't think they're not going to be in the. And that's what I'm saying. Again, it's like everything drips into the other. You know, you get your Premier League. It's exciting. You know, you got the champions, and then you've got who's going for the Champions League. Well,
but you'd still have that.
Who's asked about the Champions League if it's not got any of the? I know, but it's not.
Those teams who are in them countries, without them, then become the big teams in those countries.
I know, but they're not big teams, though, are they?
Well, hang on, say just for
these teams aren't.
Listen, for argument's sake, right? Them teams went, right, and everything continued the way it is at the minute, right? So you'd have Everton and Spurs because we're massive. We'd have Everton and Tottenham. And then maybe someone like West Ham or whatever, trying to get, and they become bigger.
They wouldn't. They just wouldn't. Because we're not. They're those teams.
Yeah, but you'd be playing in Ped.
No one would care.
Ped.
Right. No one would care, Baz. This is what I'm trying to say. No one would care. No one would care. Our traditional fan bases would be fine.
25 years ago, before the Premier League started, right? Yeah. There was these clubs. Would just switch and change.
No, I know, but they don't know.
It was different. No, but they don't know because a brand has been created.
It's only going one.
No, what a brand has been created, and it's built. Zlatan's even just said it. It's all hype. The Premier League's just hype.
Of course it is.
Right. So the hype can still be created.
The hype will go somewhere else, though. That's what I'm saying.
Where will it go? To that thing.
Yeah.
No one would be interested.
They would. Well, because it's not going to be about us.
No, think about it. Right. You're in England, right? So we're here, and we're playing Tottenham on Saturday, Tottenham on Saturday, and Liverpool are playing PSG
in Shanghai.
Right? Who gives a? You'd have asked about that because that's
me.
No, I'm not. Most of England won't be.
I'm not. But the problem is, Baz, we're not that generation. We're not that generation. We are football fans who go the match, right? Most of the world don't go the match. No. This is what I'm saying. This isn't for us. This is for people who watch games.
The 39th game.
No, I know, but this is not for this is not for us. This is for people who watch games of football on their fucking phone or whatever. This is for all those people who live in America, who live in China, who live in Doha, this will be a travelling roadshow. Yeah, that's the fear, and that's what I'm saying. So that's the shiny thing, and money goes to the shiny. That's what I'm saying. The world won't end for us. No. We'll just get on doing what we're doing. You'll find exclusive here. Yeah, we'll sell out to whoever. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about it happening. I'm just worried that
the ramifications.
The stadium would, if it's not already up and running, I think we'd struggle to find the money. Listen, like you said, if you're a fan of when the Premier League started, you know, if you were a fan of anyone, but you've got to look at that though. You've got to look at the Premier League as an example, Baz. Before the Premier League come along, we say it all the time. In the 80s, there was this team and that team, and they were all good, and then it's just been like dwindled down to a few teams, and that's what I'm saying. It's like. But if I was a Liverpool fan or I was a whoever, I'd be thinking, well, hang on, there's only, unless there's going to be some kind of thing in it, and I can't see how it could. But when you have got like NFL or NBA, and it's like the worst team gets the pick of the best player, but how would that ever work? Because there's hundreds of other football clubs out there. So you're right, it probably will happen. And it won't be the end of football.
Might be 8 years.
It won't be the end of football.
Or whatever, 10 years.
But people are going to have to... But I imagine that all those players would have to just sign their lives over to this to this league.
And you'll get some... You might then get players going, you know, one playing in the Premier League for Tottenham or for Everton or for whoever, at West Ham or whatever. I'm on 150 grand a week and I played my country. I'm not bothered about going into that league. Because I can win stuff, and I'm in a European Cup. Then, if
UEFA and FIFA would have to fight back. They'd have to fight back because at the end of the day, there's not enough money, and like you said, greed. There wouldn't be enough money in a Super League for them So they'd have to fight back, and that the only way I think they can fight back is by making it the sanctions so tough on it that it would.
Well, it will be independent. Probably.
That's what I'm saying. So that the sanctions would have to be so tough that players wouldn't want to go. You'd basically have to sign your career over to that league. Some players will, of course they will. If someone says to them, you can play in this league for 15 years and bounce around between the teams, and you will get a guaranteed, payment of X amount every year. Some players will go, sound.
Where do we sign?
But competition is what football is based on.
They'd have to do it for that to work as it was. They'd have to have it almost like MLS, where
you'd have to have all kinds of rules.
You'd win a trophy and then you'd have a playoff to keep it alive.
But the problem is though, Vaz, like you're saying there, it's like they're going to it to escape rules. So if you go there and you start going, we're having competition rules, and they're like, what? Yeah, we're making it like we're making it like so. The player signs for the league, and then we divvy them out, and they'd all be going, what? Because they're obviously going there because they just don't like rules. They want to make.
They just want the money.
Yeah, so they want to make their own rules because they're sick of the rules as they are because they can't make enough money out of it, and that someone's got to go. This is not actually what it's all about, But the next story we're going to talk about, I suppose, leads into that nicely.
So on the back of that, the financial fair play, Manchester City, Der Spiegel again, City and PSG are the two, but obviously it's everybody. But they've just decided to choose Man City. Now, financial fair play, when it was first lobbied, was supposed to be the thing that give us all the equal opportunity. Right?
Which it doesn't for the start.
No, but
because it doesn't give any of us equal opportunity.
They were trying to market it at that as well. You can only spend what you make and blah, 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 which sounds great until you actually realise that the likes of Man City, but I'm just choosing City because they come from nowhere and they're in this story. The likes of them were allowed to spend and spend and spend to get with everybody else before they pull the ladder
up. Now
we're not. Now the ladder's up. Yeah. Because Everton, with Machiri, wanted to buy everyone. I want to buy him, and you can't because of the 7.7% thing you've got to have and blah, blah, blah. Now, it's only what we've always said, but it's actually out in the public domain now. This story running saying that Manchester City sold player rights to another company for X amount of money so they could circumvent financial fair play rules, and everyone's like disgusted on what Man City have done. I'm on the other side of the fence. I'm going, but they've had to do that because your rules are stopping a Manchester City being able to join that elite. Now, City have done it because they have kind of cheated. Really, that's if you want to look at it. Anyone that bends the rules are cheating. It's whatever side of the scale you're on with it, whether it's like a little white lie or a big, But the rules are ridiculous in the first place. They're there to protect. It's like going, we're boss, right? And I can see you're getting boss down there, but you're not coming up here because we don't want to lose our status. I think again, which feeds into that Super League chat that we've just had.
I think the problem is that you've always had the haves and the have-nots in football, always. But obviously, the amount of money involved was, it wasn't huge, and it all factored into each other. But you had your haves and your have-nots, and your haves where by right bigger clubs because more people come through the turnstiles, and if a little club, smaller club wants to get involved, they'd normally have to sell or create a good team, and it wasn't necessarily long term. So someone like Nottingham Forest, late 70s, early 80s, managed to do it because they had a great team with a great manager, and for 2 or 3 years he put it all together, but it couldn't last because they're not a big enough club. So the problem is now, though, I'm sorry, but by that's fine. I think that's just like, I suppose, like everything else in the world, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But the problem with now is that financial fair play was brought in to really the whole point of it is so that, because money, and like we were talking about before with the Super League, money now it's not equally spread out around the world in anything. Rich are getting richer and poor are getting poorer, and the system works that way because the people who control the system are the rich. So you've got now whole states, countries, Gulf states buying into football because they understand that the money, the oil it's not dwindling, but it's getting less and less. And they're starting now to go, well, where else can we put our money? Money creates money. Brands create brands. And that has allowed Man City and Paris Saint-Germain to become these huge clubs. But like you said, the door was blocked for them because people, you know, was starting to be pulled up, and they've just cleverly managed the money. They haven't done anything illegal in terms of like money laundering, but in the terms of football, they've done something. But under the old rules, they haven't done anything wrong as such. Like everybody did. It's just a case of they've been devious now. But listen, yeah, well, clever. But at the end of the day, I'm shocked that anyone's shocked. What was the first thing I said to you when Liverpool signed the Warrior deal?
Oh, I know. Well,
yeah, we've got USM Finch Farm. If you don't all think everybody's at it, it's just that Man City are in a hurry to get somewhere, and because they've got lots of money, they've had to be very creative, and that
they all want to do it. But I think the problem is financial fair play can only work if everybody's playing by the same rules, right? So if you said, right, every club who wants to play European competition, the wage bill can only be £100 million, right, for everyone. Now Burnley might go, we don't get near 100 million. Doesn't matter. If you do, you do. It can't be more than, or 150 million's the top. It can be whatever. And you can only spend £50 million every summer on players, or 100 million's maximum you can spend on players every summer. So you're all roughly having to do the same kind of thing. That's how it can become a good thing, because it's still difficult because those teams are already established.
Yeah, it should be about how much you can spend, not what the percentage is, because a percentage just immediately skews it. Because if you're a big club, your percentage your 7% compared to my 7% are going to be completely different.
Man United get 500 million off Chevrolet for the training kit. So when you put that in sponsors, which means so United's percentage of spend could be 400 million, and Everton's could be 80 million.
Exactly. So you're working off the fact that if I'm a new club going in the Champions League, but I'm not a big club and I don't have these huge deals already in place, how am I ever going to get them in place if you're working off percentages? Like you just said there, surely it should be, right, Champions League this season, your wage bill is £200 million, right? And I suppose the problem with that is they'll start coming up with creative ways to manipulate that, wouldn't they?
But you've got to give everybody an opportunity.
Yeah, that's fair. Then saying, oh, it's this percentage, because percentages is just this. You know what I mean? Like,
that came in because Platini and UEFA didn't like Platini. Yeah, they didn't like.
We didn't like Britain. We didn't like England. English teams.
Sorry, we didn't like the English teams getting the power and winning. And it was because the money was the Premier League was powerful. So you had teams like Manchester United, who, you know, when you think of United always had, you know, relatively big gates. They've had money to spend. They weren't, you know, ridiculous amounts of money at first. That's got bigger as time's gone on. You know, it might be 1 or 2 players in the summer, and that was it, and it built. And then you had Chelsea with Abramovich's money spending a lot, and Liverpool spending because of the Sky money and the TV stuff. And so they were having a good run in that Champions League. So they wanted a curtail to stop other teams doing it. So Everton, for argument's sake, because we've been taking over and there's money sloshing around, we could have gone and paid 200 million for someone, because Moshiri wanted it. He wanted that Hollywood signing. But we weren't able to do that. And we're still not able to do that because of these percentages that are in place. So I've got no issue with going... Everyone, as long as everyone's playing by the same rules, that's fine as far as I'm concerned. If Man City can spend 300 million, that's fine, as long as Everton can.
Well, that's what they're going to have to work out, and the two work hand in hand, because these owners of these other teams are going. It's mad because Platini said, you know, he basically hated the fact that the English teams were getting more money because of the Premier League. But because of those rules, you know, it could very much lead to this Super League because
of that.
Because of financial fair play. Because people want to put their money into teams. There's no problem with that. And what they're seeing is that is blocked. So they're seeing the unfair ratios and going, well, hang on. Just because, you know, he's got this massive deal. And what Man City have done is just been very creative and gone, well, we'll create our own massive deals then. And now people are going, that's terrible, that's a disgrace. But UEFA have allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
By the way they've worked the terms out.
Well, listen, I'm quite sure we'll be trying to do it, and other teams will be trying to do it, because that's what you have to do.
Yeah, you have
Otherwise,
to be
what's the point?
Creative accountant.
What's the point? Otherwise, you're sitting around going, well, we can't win. So it's what it's doing. The thing it's allegedly doing is creating competition, but it's not creating competition.
Yeah.
It's just keeping the big boys at the
I've
top.
got no problem with financial fair play. It's just the way it's being handled. It's just wrong because it favours all the big teams already. It favours teams that are established, that have got huge fan bases, that have got all these established avenues. Because at the end of the day, it comes back to what we were saying before about the Super League. The simple fact is, clubs that have been established as being winners or whatever for the last 30, 40 years get more eyes on them because they've got bigger fan bases, because they win things more. So therefore, sponsors pay them more money because more people watch them, so more people see their brand, and it's just self-fulfilling. Whereas if you're a new kid on the block, how do you bridge that gap? How do you become a team? Well, you've got to spend money, and it's like, well, no, it's why Man City have created these clubs around the world. It's to create the brand so that it's all like, well, if you're a fan of the Australian city and the New York city and I don't know, Shanghai city or whatever the else, then you should support the parent club team as well. You know, you support Girona, then you should have an affiliation with Man City because they pay the bills, and therefore that's what they're trying to. They've manufactured a brand, because they've had to, because it's just, and it's why, you know, when Everton fans moan, why aren't we getting the same as this and that? Well, because we're not a big enough club, because in the TV age of football, or the HD, really is what it is. It's the HD age of football, where football now is accessible in on primetime channels in America and China and
Malaysia,
everywhere, anywhere where there's a telly that you can watch and you can distinguish what badge it is. We simply haven't been successful, and because we haven't been successful, we're not on TV, because their TVs don't work like ours. We don't have to be on all the time, or because you can have every single game. You just go, I don't have to watch Everton. I'm just going to watch Chelsea, Man United, Man City, Liverpool and Tottenham. I don't have to watch Everton. In fact, NBC, who said that when they first came in, have now making people pay extra to watch the likes of Everton, which means that we'll be on less screens in America, which there'll be less chances of seeing us. So again, like you're saying, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we're on less places, then there'll be less chances of a big sponsorship deal, and it's all just going like, it's mad. This is what makes it mad with the Super League. They want the cake and eat it, and they've already got it. They've already got it. But they want more, and they want more, and they want more.
It's like, mate, it's like any big corporation. You know, you look at like British Gas, or you look at those kind of things, and they only made a £3.3 billion profit this year, and you're going, hang on a sec, why are you making £1 billion profits up, and everybody's prices are through the roof? How?
We've got to, because we need to make $3 billion profit next year. Yeah, but we don't want to make $2 billion bad. We want to make $3 billion.
We shouldn't be making any profit.
No, I know, because we've got no choice. Whatever they say.
But that's it. That mentality, the same kind of thing.
But what happens to the?
Why don't we just make $500,000?
So what happens to the? What makes you laugh is, I think, what makes you, I say, well, they'll get to a Super League and then Liverpool find themselves never winning it and going, we probably had a better chance when we were in the Premier League.
This is sterile and rubbish.
We're playing I can't wait to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and watch us play our home game in Shanghai. Can't wait for that. That's going to be boss, isn't it? Can't wait.
Good. Fair play to them.
Do you know what I ate?
What?
All these Scousers turning up at games and singing. It puts me off watching the second screen
player cam
thing I've got on my iPad. These fucking, and the banners, they put the banners up and it just blocks the.
Can't get a good shot.
Can't get a good signal. While there's all these.
That's what it is.
That's
the age what it's in, isn't it? Finally,
I'm preparing myself for the intergalactic championship.
Robot ref. That's when don't need
robot players.
He'll just go VAR. The screen will
robot players, mate.
It's robot players is where it's at. They won't get tired.
Richarlison 4-5-8-3.
And his 74th goal of the season. And only played 6 games.
As long as he's not wearing fucking 30 on his back.
No, he won't be. Just finally, very quickly. Go on, because we've gone on and on and on. It's gone dark. Wayne Rooney is going to captain England.
Yes.
Against the United States.
Is he going to captain England?
Apparently he's going to captain England in a game against the United States. A friendly. Yeah. At first there was a lot of talk that the proceeds were going to go to Wayne Rooney.
No, the FA giving money away.
Money? You're joking. That's not happening.
No, it's going on to the Super League.
There's been a bit of a people haven't taken it in
backlash.
The manner in which I think they should have done. I mean, we've even got Type Perm himself, Shilton, going, it's a disgrace and all of that.
You should have just been presented with a cap on the pitch.
That was it, yeah. You know, like I remember getting mine in a sign.
They brought it to me when I was in bankruptcy court.
You know, and you're just like...
I had to sell it.
I remember him getting his framed 125 shirt and all that. Personally, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea. And I think it's a great... Not just because I like Wayne Rooney anyway, but just the fact that this happens in other countries.
It does.
To players. He's England's record goal scorer. If it was Dion Dublin bringing him back for a game, fair enough.
Isn't he the highest outfield caps as well?
Is he?
Shilton's 125. I think wouldn't it make him 120?
Is he? I don't know. Probably. Possibly. I don't know. But what's your initial take on it?
It's a great idea. It's a great... I think the Dutch do it, the Germans do it. I think, who was he?
The Spanish doing it with Thingy.
Thingy got one, didn't he? And then afterwards they set up a Snyder. Wesley Snyder. Sorry, I was thinking about the names.
Yeah.
And afterwards they set up this thing on the pitch that looked like his living room. And he sat down with his kid and his missus and watched all the best bits of his career, and then they put it on the big screen for everyone else in the ground to do. Honestly, real thing. Didn't just happen in a dream, honestly. I'll check that just in case it did happen in a dream.
And if it
and then I got out to the shower,
then it's an opportunity.
It is. I mean, there's
someone to do it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, what's that called?
I remember Podolski done it, didn't he, for Germany? They played now, scored as well.
I don't think he'll start. I don't think he's
starting, isn't he?
I don't think he'll start.
I don't
know.
I think he'll play 45.
The FA are knobs for not giving them the money, but they're saying there will be opportunities for people to donate to it while they're there. So, in other words, people with buckets. Or the programme, instead of being 15 quid, will probably be 20 quid. But no, it's a brilliant idea, and it's like hating on someone. Oh, you've done your bit, lad. Move on now. No, how about players get testimonials at clubs? So why not give him a testimonials thing at his country? You know,
played for England for 14 years, didn't he? Or 15 years. Record goal scorer. Always wanted to do well. And
score goals, play through injuries.
It's a chance for him to play one last time and say, you know, thank you to people of Wembley. And against the United States, where he's playing now, it's actually really, it's a nice thing. It's a friendly. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. If the United States win 8-0, it doesn't mean anything.
But they won't. And you know what?
They won't anyway.
Rooney will be fine.
And it'll be Rooney against Anthony Robinson.
Rooney will be fine.
Rooney will be brilliant. He'll be dropping on people. Will be going, he could still do a job here for these. I think the talk is he'll play 45 minutes Right? It doesn't matter. Let him have his day. Clap him because he scored so many goals. Stop bloody moaning. Stop finding things to moan about when it's not important. The end. See you next week.